Let's play a quick game of brand association. I'm going to say a statement and you've got to say the first brand that comes to mind. Ready? Running shoe. Where would you go to buy something online? Search engine, talk show host, and lastly, when I say the word Apple, what do you think of? Now, it really doesn't matter who you thought of, whether you said Nike or Adidas, whether you thought of Amazon or eBay, whether you said Google or Yahoo, or whether you said Oprah or Ellen DeGeneres. But it does blow my mind that most of you thought of Apple the computer as opposed to Apple the fruit. But that's not the point. The question is why? Why did you think of the brand you thought of? Well, it's because they now own a space in your brain. Crazy, right? But it's true. As soon as you have the problem they are the solution to, you instantly think of them. Now, I know some of you are skeptical right now. I mean, the thought of a brand owning a space in your brain is mind-blowing stuff. And when I found out about this, I was skeptical too. But the thing is, it is true. It's an age-old technique that brands have been using to get you to buy their products. Every advert that you have watched has been carefully crafted to capture a neuron in your brain. And this is the secret to why these brands do so well. A secret that up until now no one really bothered to share with you. So this is the moment where I lift the veil and show you behind the curtain. Hey, Jor'EL here, founder of Cyber Celebrity Branding, and I'm so excited that you are here because in the next couple of minutes I'm going to share with you the online secret to branding success. You see, there was a study conducted by Hootsuite and they found that there are 3.48 billion people currently using social media and 366 million people have joined in the last year alone. That's the equivalent of 1 million people joining a day. And considering that Eric Schmidt, one of the founders of Google, is predicting that in the not so distant future, they would have wired up the entire population to the internet. Yes, 7 billion people will be joining the internet. Can you see the dilemma that you or your business faces? You see, your competition is no longer just your local area. It's no longer your country. Your competition has now become the globe. And with fewer jobs and fewer opportunities out there, it is truly a game of the survival of the fittest. So what's the key to survival in the digital age? It's twofold. It's knowing how to get you or your product, service or business to stand out, and it's knowing how to compete as the big brands do for a space in your potential customer, client or follower's mind. So as soon as they have the problem you or your product, service or business is the solution to, they instantly think of you. Imagine your audience thinking of you as soon as they have the problem you are a solution to. Can you see how this will help either you or a product, service or business to stand out amongst the competition, or how it will help you to generate more sales or win more opportunities? I get asked all the time, Jor'EL, what's the difference between traditional branding and cyber celebrity branding? And I think that this is such a good question. The problem I see is that not many people know what it takes to build a brand that can really stand out in the digital age. So to explain this, let's think about what the process of standing out and branding was like before the internet. If you wanted to get your product, service, business or message in front of a target audience, you would have to get access to old media channels such as television, radio, billboards and newspapers. Now, we all know how expensive these channels are, right? But not only that, you had to win the favor of the gatekeepers who decided whether you were beautiful enough or whether they thought your message was special enough. And then and only then would they give you access. Not only that, if they did give you access, you would usually have to sign a contract giving a percentage of your earnings away. No wonder it was so easy to stand out back then, because as long as you could either afford it or as long as you could win the favor of the gatekeepers, then because you were doing something that not many other people could afford to do, you stood out and became that go-to brand in your chosen field. Well, let's flash forward to the birth of the internet, and all of a sudden we have new media, social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And now everyone with access to the internet is branding. I mean, if you've ever posted a picture on one of these platforms or ever written a status update, then you may not have realized it yet, but you've dabbled with branding. Not only that, in order to get your message to a wider audience, you can do it for a fraction of the cost using social media advertising. So now, becoming a brand is simply old hat. That's why I have revolutionized the process by taking the branding concept to the next level. And this is how cyber celebrity branding was born. And let me say it again, I do not use celebrity in the traditional sense, rather I use it as a metaphor to refer to your ability to compete. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, just over 2 years ago, I found myself stuck in a 9-to-5 job, which I hated. It felt like I was on one of those hamster wheels. I felt underappreciated and I felt undervalued. I eventually reached breaking point. I just needed a way out. At my lowest, I remember turning to the internet with 2 questions in mind. How have these YouTube and Instagram influencers done it? And can I do the same? At that time, I remember going to my first branding seminar totally skeptical because I didn't think I had anything special to brand. But that seminar was a bit of a light bulb moment for me. I had a mental shift because I started to see that branding could be a way to escape my 9-to-5. But I had to spend the next year learning how to piece it all together. I remember when I first launched my brand, I struggled to see how I could stand out online or how I could bring attention to the business I launched. And as a result, I was not making any money and I was still stuck in my 9-to-5 job. It became apparent that if I was going to make this transition, then I was going to have to go deeper. And that's when I started to study the psychology of branding and began to examine what it was that these celebrities and big brands did to stand out. And once I started to apply these strategies, that's when I started to notice a real difference. For example, I went from 500 followers to 1,000 to 10,000 followers in under a year organically. It eventually got to the stage where I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job and focus on my brand full time. And now I'm a public speaker, I own my own platform called Nextbot, and I'm the author of an upcoming book. And have the pleasure of helping coaches and business owners and people like yourself either transition out of a 9-to-5 or to transition their business to the next level. And as my business started to grow, people began to ask me what it was that I was doing. And as I began to share, cyber celebrity branding was born. And now I have helped people around the world understand how they can brand themselves to success. Okay. So before I wrap up this video, there only leaves us one last thing to do, and that's to see what other people are saying about cyber celebrity branding. So check this out.
This is definitely not just a branding course. For anybody who was thinking about branding or marketing, this is definitely not that. You know, I've Googled and I've studied some information around branding and marketing, and this is so much more.
But I've learned loads of things, maybe 3 big things. The first is how to craft my story and my message and package it into a way that's going to move people into taking action.
I've given myself self-confidence again and being in front of the camera, which I've not really been in front of the camera this much.
I was excited and just really can't wait to continue this journey. It's just the beginning of something massive.
The second thing I found out is some confidence in speaking and getting up in front of an audience and talking about my business and my mission and my vision for the future.
So it's not just about, you know, what to say and what to do in terms of marketing. It's actually about what to actually have, how to have a system that will take you from where you are to where you want to be, how to implement that system and how to build it live over that 3-day period.
Learn how to turn that vision into belief and a plan of action. A great structure.
It was like a branding experience more than a course. Like, it's more than you could just write down on a piece of paper. So much has gone on up here that it's like, it's just amazing.
And the last thing I've learned is just how inspirational being around like-minded people are. You always hear that you're the average of the 5 people you hang out the most with. And at this event, it's been so moving and inspiring to connect with these people. And that's in another part of the course. It's not just branding, it's the whole package.